So we just watched The Mask We Live In, and what do you think?
I think that it sends a very true message of something that as a society we really need to change, that we really force upon young men specifically. Things like if you cry, don't cry. You're being a little girl, stop crying. Or things like you shouldn't like this because you're a boy, or you should do this because you're a boy. Man up. I think it sends a really great message that we shouldn't be teaching these kids that. We should be teaching it's okay if you cry.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of pressure on these young men or boys that you're basically setting the bar as in you need to do all of these things. We're expecting you to behave like this, to talk like that, to act like this. And so what happens is that a lot of these kids end up doing things that aren't necessarily the best, and then end up either hurting somebody else or getting in trouble. And then you know they do it just to prove themselves, just to say, well, everyone, this is what people are asking me to do. This is how I'm going to prove that I'm going to be a man, or that I have what it takes, that I'm not a little, girl or for men. And then I think also, what do you think about like for girls?
I think it switches too. I mean the video or the movie basically it focuses on little boys, but I also think that it switches with girls, because if you see a little girl and you see her wanting to play like tough sports that are considered manly sports, like if a girl wants to try out for rugby, she's told, or if she wants to try out for football, she's told, no, that's a man sport.
Or soccer too, yeah.
Or soccer, that's a man sport. You shouldn't be playing that. Like, especially when I went to high school, we had a couple girls who wanted to try out for football, and we had some players and even coaches that would laugh and behind her back would say, oh, she's not going to last a day out here. This is a man sport. It's not something that she can handle. And the pressure got to those women, and they're like, maybe it's something I can't handle. They love the sport, but they didn't get to play it because they had these people saying it's a man sport, and they had all these people against them.
Yeah, and it's true. Like you say, especially at school, that's the most critical, because you want to fit in, you want to have a social life, apart from doing your homework and passing your classes. So I do feel that the pressure is there to.
Pero la presión es en todas las culturas, ¿no?
Well, yeah, pero in las escuelas there could be more, like the high school that I went to, it was very diverse. So there was a lot of Hispanics and African American, and even people from like Bosnia or Europe, or some other place, a lot of Asian culture. So it was just really mixed, and everyone had different views, and their little areas where they all hung out. And I would see things like a lot of fights and a lot of incidents, and you would ask, well, why? And the reasons were not that justifiable. They were kind of dumb, just because someone said this, or they said I couldn't do that, so I had to prove them wrong. So
Especially, I think with boys, I think when you can even take it back to elementary school. I remember there was a fight with these little two boys, and they asked, well, why were you fighting in the first place? Oh, well, he said that he was stronger than I was, or he was bigger than I was, or he was better than me, or he was manlier than I was because of a certain thing. I don't really remember what it was. I think it was because one of them it was something stupid like, oh, I could climb the jungle gym faster than you, or I could do the monkey bars faster than you. It was something stupid, but it still, in my mind, I was like, that's such a dumb reason to fight. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and I feel like as little kids too, I remember, it was a lot of competition, right? Like, oh, I gotta do this faster, I gotta do this better, a little bit like that, just to kind of prove that, I'm up there too, like I can do it, or, I'm good enough. So, these are good points. I just feel, and like you said, the message that I got from the movie was to kind of reshape society and what we as a society expect from younger boys boys and girls as to what it means to be, you know, mature and more, I guess, either manly if you're a boy or girly if you're a girl, I guess, or, you know, just to kind of not let all these things tell you that are bad things, like people's messages or people's indirect comments to guide you to doing something that, you know, deep down inside you want to do, like cry, or, you know, you want to go and help somebody because they can't get through, you know, they can't walk, or, you know, they have a disability where they can't do something. Instead of like laughing with the rest of the kids, like help them out, you know, be the bigger person. Kind of like today when we went to the bank, you know, you were helping that lady get in her car because she was struggling.
I also think it has to do with culture, because I know in some cultures it's I lost my train of thought. Oh, like therapy. That's what I was gonna do. Therapy. You know how you and I have sometimes talked where I feel like maybe I should go to therapy. I know when I mentioned it to a friend and she said, I don't know, maybe I would benefit from therapy, but I'm scared of telling my parents, hey, I think I want to go to therapy, because they think that they'll think of me as less of a man, especially like his uncles or his dad will be like, you're less of a man because if you go to therapy, you're admitting that you are not okay. You're admitting to these emotions that as a man you shouldn't be feeling, or you shouldn't be allowed to feel.
Yeah, and I feel like they say in the movie, a lot of kids don't know how to take that off, right? They put this mask. They're like, okay, I'm gonna go to school and be this person that all you guys want me to be, and then, you know, they just forget that it's on, you know, it's, and maybe they want to express how they feel or talk about, you know, what's going on more in a more deeper feeling, and then they just don't, because they're so like trained to, oh well, if I do that, I'm gonna be looked down upon, or they're gonna laugh
Va a ser
at me.
criticado.
Sí.
Inclusive si quiere expresarlo con sus papás, sus papás lo van a criticar o a pensar que lo van a criticar, que porque no es de niño o